That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight?
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Hey, about to go stupid again.
Yo, welcome back, Dub Sports. Getting into week 7 here. Hope everyone got some dubs in week 6. How was your week, big dog?
Great,
up,
great,
Chris?
man. We're
As always,
getting halfway through the season, dude. It's we're getting close, man. Two weeks we'll be halfway through, man. It's depressing already, but
we're coming up. Most this week's over. Yeah. We're at the halfway mark. I mean, for the regular season anyway. Most fantasy leagues are over in week 14, and we're approaching week 7, so coming up on the halfway mark.
Fantasy season for sure. Yep, halfway for sure. But this week was it was an all right week. 4-1. Lost in a league that
4-1. All right, that's all right.
I mean, it's a good week, but losing in the one that I wanted to stay undefeated in, but that that's the one that took the L. But it was the Trevor, and I scored a good amount of points too. So I'm like, whatever. I'm still in first place in that one too. So I'm like, I guess if you're gonna take one in that one, I got one in one I was 2-3 in, back to 3-3. Those two wins and 2 ones that I was 2-3 in. So back to 500 in all of them, and above 500 in a couple of them.
So I mean, technically, if there would have been one that you would have taken an L in, I guess that's the 951.
Right, exactly. It's depressing losing that undefeated at 0, dude. But honestly, it's better to take it now.
Right, exactly. Get it out the way, bro. Really good point for sure. Being undefeated is cool. Not much of us can be. You know what I mean? But
no, you're killing it, man. You fucking killing it
in that league. Yeah, in that league. But in my league, on my 951 league, you and I think we're the only two in the 800 point club.
Yeah, for sure.
Is you and me. You're first place.
Smacking, dude.
I've been putting up some points.
How much did you put up in the 951? You put up 190 in the 951 and 190 in the
170. Dude, I put in every league I was in. I had the high score in the league. I was 3 leagues, 3 high scores. Dude,
you had Godwin in all 3 of them.
I have him in all 3 leagues. I drafted him in all 3 leagues, bro. Like,
smart.
He's been a money pick. He's been like
He's number 1 ranked receiver right now. No,
yeah, he is. He was 6 last week, but he had 35 this week.
Right back in there.
It put him right back to number 1. So no, I drafted him, and he's been my steal of like all my drafts. I think your steal in 951 is Derrick Henry, even though he's second round, third round, either way. Like, that dude's been fucking going crazy. And compared, you see, 6 other running backs going ahead of him. If you redraft, he might be the first guy, first running back off the board.
Taken,
so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, we talked about it. Remember our first show? We talked about him possibly putting up 20 touchdowns. We were fucking around when we said that shit. Him and Lamar getting there, and no Gus there, no J.K. Dobbins there, dude. I mean, Derrick Henry is on track to get that 20, bro. Like, it's real. It's a possibility.
Dude's been going crazy. He's been fucking balling.
For sure.
No, but it was definitely it was a good week. Definitely a good week. I got 3 high scores, but in one of them we don't have weeklies. I won a $30 weekly and a $25 weekly. So
chopping away at real quick, dog.
Hey, chopping away at that buy-in, bro. Chopping away at it.
I got
my third weekly in Yahoo. That's third
fire.
One.
That's and what's the buy-in at? 150?
Yeah, and I got 90 back already.
Jesus, dude. See, so you're already getting your shit back. You got fucking 60 to go, and then it's right back, dude. Bro, and then it's all profits from there.
2 more. Yeah, 2 more. And then go ahead and get the profit. Yep, exactly. So.
And we know what we're doing. If you look in both leagues, dude, who's number 1 and number 2? In both the leagues that me and you were in, who's number 1 and number 2 in points? It's me and you.
Yeah.
Both leagues. Duty League, you're 1, I'm 2. 951, I'm 1, you're 2 in points scored. We drafted well. We're about our shit, so.
My worst, I'm 6-0, 4-2, 3-3. So overall, What is that? 6,
10, 13.
13-5.
Yeah.
13
damn good.
Pretty
damn good.
Not bad.
So I'm trying to think what I am, but fuck, I'm in 5 leagues, dude. That's a lot of fucking calculators. I think so. I got
bust out the calculator,
5,
dog.
8,
holy shit.
11. I think I'm like 14 and 7 or something like that, or 14 and 8, something like that. But hey, playing well, dude. I'll take it, man. Like I said, dude, I think we drafted well in every league and we're in it in every league, dude. And that's hard to do in one league, staying in it. And we're in multiple leagues and we're right there in it or at the top of those leagues. That's impressive, bro.
Dude, like last year, I haven't had a championship team that was 7-7 going to the playoffs. So some of these teams, like in my, Cooper Cup, actually just now in my Yahoo league, got traded for Cortland Sutton and DeAndre Swift. So the guy went for some points that are kind of safe now because Swift is actually on the rise and Sutton's
Yeah.
been solid. So
No,
I
the
mean,
Bears offense is
Cooper
getting better.
Cup is a potential game. So somebody that's going for Cooper Cup is,
Was the guy's
doing
obviously
some
has a shitty record with Cup or something, or has a lower record where he
bingo,
needs. Okay.
bingo. And he needs some safe points right now to try to scrape his way back into the playoff spot.
Right.
Whereas the other guy is already in kind of playoff contention and he's doing some big game hunting. So
Right.
some people are in those kind of positions. In certain leagues. So like it's funny, bro. Like I always throw out some feeler trades, but never. I haven't had a trade in like I want to say 2 years, two or 3 years. I even put out some last season in mine that would have killed me if they got accepted, and thankfully they didn't. But for whatever reason, yeah, no. Dude,
You had any offers yet so far in your leagues?
I did. I had a dude came after Kenneth Walker. I rejected it, and another dude came after Godwin, and I rejected it, and they were both in Yahoo. And like I said, it's a dude offered. I think it was Bucky Irving and Sutton for Godwin, and I'm like, nah, dude.
I think I've got
Godwin's
offered like 4 trades already. I think total of like 4 trades. I think
it
I got
depends.
offered one yesterday. A dude offered me who was it? In the league that I really needed to win in, that I was like 2 and 3 in. He offered me, I think it was Brees for Drake London, and I was like, not gonna happen. And the Brees is nice, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but London's gonna finish. I mean, he's
But
gonna finish
Brees,
top 5.
yeah,
I really feel like he is.
and especially, and we'll get into more of this a little bit. The Jets, I think they're going to be more of a passing team here going forward. So,
And this is I turned
yeah.
it down before that news. I even turned it down before that news. And I know Brees is gonna
Brees
step
hasn't
up and
been
he's
doing
gonna
that
get
well. He's just
better.
coming off his best game
Right.
against a green matchup. He finally had a good game. Finally.
But London's just, dude, he's too consistent. He's scored in like every single game this year so far, dude. I think he's had a touchdown in every game.
Yeah,
It's just I
Kirk
can't
likes
lose
him
him.
for sure.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
he's eating, bro. He's fucking gets I think at least I think the last 3 games he's had over 9 targets or something like that, 8 targets, something like that, and I mean, he's killing it. So that just wasn't an option for
Right.
me. For me, I'd need a top 5 RB, and that's actually performing as a top 5 RB to even think about moving London. You know what I mean? I just no, wasn't happening.
Right. So I mean, so definitely for my approach, like I said, I got a team that's 500. My 6-0 team, obviously, I'm sitting pretty. It's funny, I actually have a waiver in that league. So I don't have a waiver in my 951, my 3-3. Just depending on your matchup. I got a couple running backs, Kyron Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, both got their bye weeks out of the way, so I don't have to use a waiver. I even got Bucky Irving, so I got decent depth, bro. And now that Keenan Allen's back from the dead, he woke up. I have some receiver.
My God.
Got some receiver depth now. With JMO, and Mooney and everything. So like honestly, like I'm not even I'm 500. You would think, hey, now's the time to go for it, be aggressive. But I kind of like how my roster's looking in that league, coming off a high score, the highest score of the season.
Yeah, and on top of it, dude, I mean, you had tough matchups in the beginning. I mean, that's where your losses come from. They came from tough matchups. So it's not like something that it's you got guys that weren't gonna perform. They just those weeks you scored well. You just had guys outscored
2
you.
weeklies
You know
against
what I mean?
me.
Yeah. So
exactly.
I mean, that's the type of thing that happens. Sometimes you don't have to make a move depending on your record, and that's one of those things. I mean, you're 3-3. I mean, you're right there, dude. So
in my Yahoo one where I'm 4-2, I will say because I drafted thin at running back, and now I want receiver heavy, which my receivers in that one are like, I got freaking Lamb, Wilson, Godwin, Jaden Reed, Jameson Williams. Yeah, so I got receivers, out the ass, and but my only running backs are Cook and Walker, which are set and forget guys. But James Cook is hurt.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker was hurt. I missed Walker for 2 games. I've missed freaking and now I'm missing Cook, and I freaking my dumb ass didn't listen to my boy here, and I I picked up Ty Johnson like an idiot and played him instead of what's his name, Ray Davis, who is all of a sudden going to be a major commodity on the waiver wire, market this week. He's because if James Cook is out, he obviously showed that he can step up and play some ball a little bit. Man, that little fucker, I had no idea, dude. Fucking Ty Johnson got more work the week before.
For me, like every time we watch the Bills game, dude, I watching. He's had plays where he's really explosive, and I watch that. I'm like, damn. I'm like, if Cook fucks up,
I don't watch enough Bills, damn it.
Yeah, see, and dude, for me, like, I have because like I've had Cook. I think like the last 2 years, and I've had him in multiple leagues too. When I've had Cook, I think I had him in like 3 leagues last year, and then I think 3 leagues this year. So for me, like I've always kept an eye on the Bills, and again this year with watching them, and I've watched Ray Davis play, and I've seen plays where Cook's struggling, and Davis is coming in and having a little bit better production, and I'm like sitting there like fuck, like I scooped him up and dropped Tracy, and then picked up I think him again or something like that. I don't know, dude, but it's hard.
It's funny, bro, because like in that league, I've been looking for my third running back. Because, like I said, I got my 2 that are like cool, but if anything happens, bye weeks, it's nice to have that third guy you could rotate. You almost need to have a third running back, and I've been searching for him all season. It's fucked because I had at one point I had Chase Brown on the roster, but like in that league we have one less roster spot than in our other leagues, so
it's
like
tough.
You have to you got to make some decisions here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with guys getting hurt and stuff. So and Chase Brown early on wasn't doing shit. Zach Moss looked like it was his show, so ended up having to get rid of him, unfortunately, which I would love to have him back. I actually might fucking throw a fucking trade for that guy, a trade offer for that. I got an extra receiver. You know what? Because I need a running back in that league, bro. So I'm gonna check and see if these waivers go through, because I got my waivers that I have. One is for Ray Davis, but honestly, I'm the 5th waiver priority, and I think he's gonna be like a top 3 waiver pickup potentially.
That's in Yahoo. Is that in Yahoo?
That's Yahoo. Yeah.
Because
dude, he looks fucking good. So I think he's gonna be gone. So I have one in for him and Sean Tucker. Those are my 2 because, like I said,
Sean Tucker, man. Bro. I'm wondering how does that work with Sean Tucker? Like, do you think like he's gonna get as much work still with everything? You know what I mean? Because it was such an explosive offensive game. You think he's still gonna get the work, and you think Weiss just getting phased out, or what?
Take your time, Rashad.
That's it. What's his injury? What's his injury?
Just have him take his time a little bit because
Brian's having a little technical difficulty, guys.
I think it was turf toe. If I'm not, wait, no, that's James Cook, right? That's James Cook with turf toe.
Yeah, turf toe. James Cook.
Hey,
you're back. There you go. You're a little frozen.
Hey, am I back now?
Yeah. I think so. Wave your hand. Wave your hand a little bit. Let me see the hand. Let me see how late it is. If it's delayed. Okay, cool. We're good.
Dial up. We're good. Yeah,
we're good. Yeah.
All clear. All right. Cool.
Yeah. All clear in here. Oh man. All
right, man. No. I think Sean Tucker, bro. Like he just had I think he's had 6 explosive runs in that game, which was more than Rashad has had all season. I don't know how. You turn back. It's hard to. It's just hard. Like to me, it would be like you got to at least give him a chance, bro. We were watching that Thursday night game, and when he had that kick return, like he's the biggest running back, the strongest running back, the fastest running back that we have. You know what I mean? Like at some point, and like on our team, like Bucky's hard to tackle because he's shifty and he's quick and he's low and all that, but he's not a bruising. Rashad's not like the toughest guy on our team right now to tackle is Chris Godwin. So at least I think freaking Tucker, he adds that if he gets going downfield, then you got these DBs trying to tackle a big dude like that. Like he can obviously wear some. I was putting in our group chat, he was wearing out that Saints defense towards the end.
Right.
They were getting chunk after chunk because he gets downhill, man. He's not he's one cut, and and go. He's a strong dude. He looked good, man. He had soft hands. You know, he caught a touchdown. Like he looked damn good. You know, he was RB1 overall. So I think that potentially just because of that, what if they, what if just this week alone, Rashad that gets another week off, which I could easily see happening. Making them take his time.
Right.
If you have Rashad, like I actually drafted him, pretty high in leagues. Thankfully, I used my waiver a couple weeks ago on Bucky Irving just because you can kind of see it coming. So hopefully, if you didn't use it on Bucky, now use it on Sean Tucker just in case because,
right.
Todd Bowles, dude, he at the end of the day, he's going to play the guy that's going to give him the best chance to win.
For sure, absolutely, I agree. I've honestly, dude, I have number one waiver, and dude, it's tough. But I honestly like to handcuff, dude. In 951, I have the number one waiver.
You have so many fucking running backs.
I know, dude. But like with I don't my other receiver. I think DK might be on a bye week. I think having them and having the security to where I think there's enough running back needy teams in our 951 where I can make a trade with somebody. Having all those and kind of picking and choosing because I have Singletary and Tracy. Tracy looks to me way better than Singletary, but Singletary's got his moments. But Tracy looks amazing. Tracy's a solid back. Maybe he takes over. So I almost like
his 2 games. He's taking that job already.
and I got him and Singletary. So hopefully, if he for sure cements himself, I can drop Singletary, and that'll be where I can have my receiver. It's hard for me because I'm really debating getting Ray Davis to handcuff Cook. Because he's solid when he's in, and if he's not, Ray's a plug-in, and that's huge, bro, for me to have both of those guys. And I have all these running backs. I do. I've got Chase Brown. I got Nick Chubb, who's coming back. Dude, it's hard, but like for me, like that's trade bait to get another receiver, bro. Like if I want, when I need that, that's there. I guarantee I can get somebody.
There are teams that need 2 running backs, dude.
Exactly. So for me, I think that's more than likely going to be where I'm going to use it. Michael Wilson, I think I picked up, and I picked him up last second, bro. Last second, dropped Judy, picked up Wilson, and he's somebody that if he was on waivers,
Marvin Harrison went down.
Exactly.
So he's going to be another hot waiver pickup this week. Is that
right?
Guy, so.
And it sucks for me because I had both Tracy and I had Davis, and I could have just kept them. And the same thing like we were talking about with Mooney. I dropped Mooney, and I fucking had to re-pick him back up. There's certain guys that, with how our waivers are, bro, in the 951, there's rarely anybody there, bro. Like all the backups, running backs are almost taken. They're almost all gone anyway.
You can only have so many handcuffs on your, I'm gonna have to get rid of handcuff here pretty soon. I think I'm gonna have to drop Braylon Allen. He scored double digits once. He had 2 touchdowns that one time. Every other game he hasn't really done, but especially Brees against that Green matchup last week, which Braylon did have a touchdown called back, but it was like a 2-yard touchdown run that would have got him up to a whole 7 points.
I started him too. I started him. I had to.
Luckily, it didn't matter. I put up some good points. Despite that guy.
I was up by 40 in the league that I had to start him, bro. And the dude came back and was only lost by 6 points. And because I put Braylon Allen in, I was thinking he'd get me 8 or 9 points or something like that.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Didn't give me shit. So honestly, if you got him, I think he's droppable. Unless you have all those roster spots to keep him.
Unless you have Brees Hall.
Right.
Unless you don't have that direct handcuff, I was stashing him, but I
or
don't
trade
have
him to somebody, the Brees Hall owner, and get you somebody off of their bench that you like, or somebody.
Honestly, the fact that he's look at Tyler Algier. I'm sure you can look at him, and he's a better handcuff who actually can produce. They both balled out last week. Certain teams you could actually play 2 guys. Whereas to me, Rashad White is now my handcuff because I think Bucky Irving. He's going to get his touches.
It's going to be him and Tucker, and he's fading into that 3rd spot, bro.
Yeah, and if he's a 3rd spot, which he's a handcuff, if anything happens to Bucky, then all of a sudden Rashad's the Tucker might be the one, and then Rashad's the 2, but either way, he still has potential value because he's a really good pass catching back, dude. So like,
Agreed.
for me, like, I'm not gonna drop him quite yet, but there's no way you could get him into your lineup, and especially with Tucker coming on. So yeah, so in my Yahoo league, I need a running back. So I'm gonna either look to trade one of these receivers, or I got these waivers in for Ray Davis and Sean Tucker, just because the running back waiver is super thin right now. Those are the two guys, that are the hot waiver guys going into week 7 right now. Actually, I'm going to look into it right now to see if there's anybody else.
We haven't got a chance to actually look on it and really see.
Right. But as far as running backs, just off the top of my head, those are the first two. I mean, fucking your boy, what's his name? Dearness Johnson from the Jags. He got more. He got more
Brown,
run.
Yeah. Bigsby fumbled again. Bigsby fumbled again, dude.
He got more run than Bigsby. But I mean, we brought up Algier, Warren. There's some guys that aren't too bad on waivers, but
there's a few.
I don't think they're waiver worthy, like to go use your waiver. Like if you could add these guys if you need like a spot start, and then they're just like an ad.
Most of them are all handcuffs, dude. You got Corum, Vidal to maybe handcuff.
That 49ers kid? Fast dude that should have scored a touchdown, but slid down.
Gerardo, he had 99 yards.
Guerrero.
That motherfucker was man, what an idiot. Just to slide, dude, and they scored.
Is that your first one? Would that have been your first one?
Yeah, probably.
For the highlight, bro.
I don't care what's going on, bro.
The highlight, dude. You house one. And
you're probably not getting a starting job. You got to think Chris McCaffrey's coming back. I'm getting that, dude. You go ahead and cut me. I'll go somewhere else.
Well, if Mason is going to be out,
they're saying he's going to be. They're saying he's back. He'll be back next week.
Is he?
Yeah, he'll be back next
week. This week or next week?
Yeah, for sure. No, this week.
Chiefs?
Yeah.
Against the Chiefs.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, but still, I mean, if you have Mason, we don't know when McCaffrey's coming back. You might as well pick up Granado just in case something happens in game, like.
This is the guy, his first name, I don't know how to, Kamani Vidal?
Vidal, yep.
Chargers?
Vidal, yep.
Vidal, he had 13 points coming off, he carrying the ball. He obviously didn't do too well, but
Dobbins is never healthy. Never healthy.
Exactly.
I mean, he's a guy that you could, dude, never healthy. That's somebody that's a solid waiver pickup.
I think he's going to be, especially if you have a Dobbins, like if you're Trevor and you got Dobbins and you're actually relying on Dobbins, which some people actually are at this point because they, he's been a blessing to whoever had him. He's coming off of a hell of a game, but how long is that going to last, dude? Like this kid, the rookie is fresh,
especially with their passing game. It's not all that great. Like it's
that's us on IR, so you got at least a few weeks of him going to get some touches. That's a team that really likes to run the ball. So I could see
that's our running backs for sure. Yeah, I don't see much else, dude. I mean, we do have Algier on the waivers though. Fuck, Algier is on the waivers.
Yeah, no, he's solid, bro. That dude, somebody should trade for him. Like he needs to be a starter somewhere. That dude's a beast.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a good tandem. For sure. They're trying to be like
a starter.
Detroit.
He's a starter anywhere else.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Braylon Allen, if he went somewhere else, dude, with a decent line, I think he's a starter somewhere else too. I mean, his size and everything. Like, I think he could be a starter somewhere else too. Other than that, I think our shit's pretty thin, bro. I think that's like the only.
Yeah, there's not a lot. So hopefully you guys got your running back situations figured out. Otherwise, we touched over like 5 or 6, honestly, solid waiver options.
Yeah, not bad. So, I mean, from the previous weeks, it's getting better. It usually gets less. You know what I mean? Usually we had I think last week we had 2, maybe 3, if that. So.
And receiver, man, like honestly, and the wide receiver position, like if you're having to scour the waivers for wide receivers in today's NFL and today's fantasy football, you're kind of fucking up, dude. Like,
right.
I think I already went over my Yahoo receivers that are pretty stacked. I waited to draft. I went RB heavy in 951, and I waited, and I ended up going Higgins, Godwin, but I ended up getting JMO late.
Higgins is stepping up. Higgins is getting better
Mooney, drafted Mooney late, so there's 5 right there. Like fucking in. I lost Rashay Rice and freaking our ESPN. Okay, I got Godwin, fucking Higgins, Drake London. Like,
dude,
bro,
plenty of space. Yeah,
Jaden Reed. Like,
there were so many receivers in the draft that you should have enough depth where you shouldn't be having to scrape the waiver wire for receivers at this point.
Right.
You shouldn't. I mean, but there's a new one popping up every week.
5. You have to draft at least 5 wide receivers. You have to, and there are
Even if
easily
you're in
5
a two-man,
draftable.
even if you're in a two wide receiver league, you should be drafting 5. So
Right. But if you didn't, or if you had are obliterated by injuries, I
there's
mean,
some
just looking
decent
at
guys on the
these,
waiver wire in the 951 that I'm looking at.
I mean, Douglas, that dude from the Patriots, Demario
Yeah,
Douglas,
May
he's
likes
coming
him.
off.
May likes him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, in 3 of his last 4 games, he's had 9 targets in each of those games.
Yeah, I think
So
he's
he's
solid,
coming
bro.
off, 6 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. 21 fantasy points against the Texans. He's got a green matchup against the Jaguars coming up. So, like you said, Drake May obviously likes him. So
Yep, yep.
he could be solid. There's one. You got one?
Yeah, I think McConkey, he looks good with Herbert. I think he's not terrible. To me, he's a flex option, wide receiver 3. But I mean, like I said, if you're in a 3 wide receiver, I don't think he's a wide receiver 2 or 1. I mean, definitely not a 1, obviously. But I think a 3 or a flex, he's not bad. Christian Watson had a touchdown. He's a 3 or
That's
flex
what I
as
was going to
well.
bring up. Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wicks
because
is hurt.
and if he's hurt, then Watson obviously gets his job on the outside back, and he's
Yep.
he's a big play guy. He got hit in stride on a deep ball, and he could look good. He scored a touchdown, so he finally got going a little bit. Christian
Breed's his
Watson,
guy, but then it goes in between. It goes back and forth between Dubes and Watson as that second scorer during the weeks. It's between Dubes
there's
and
that
Watson.
little I want to say 4-6 week window, whatever it was, with Christian Watson and when Aaron Rodgers was still there, where he was balling, dude, and he was like, okay, this guy's gonna be the next guy. So we've seen potential, so Christian Watson, at this point, he might be worth a waiver just to stash and see if he can potentially hit if you're thin at the position. He's a guy, definitely.
I know Watson's struggling, which he's definitely struggling. I mean, I think Judy, now that Cooper's gone, we'll get to it and talk about that in a little bit. But
the volume's got to kick up there.
He's number 1 there. Moore got a little bit hurt. Tillman's there, but I think Judy is not a bad option to have as a wide receiver 3 flex. Possibly if Deshaun could start getting his shit together, maybe a wide receiver 2 if he gets his shit together. And if Judy, because Judy's looked good and he's got open. Deshaun's missed him on some. Cooper was the one dropping the passes there. Judy's made some crazy catches from what I've watched. So Judy could be somebody potentially to grab off of waivers. I think his projection went up a good 3 points, which our offense hasn't been great, so that's probably why it's only went up 3. But
right,
he's wide receiver 1 now in Cleveland. So
Michael Wilson with what's his face, the rookie,
with Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, right.
He left the game.
Yeah, Maserati Marv.
Right?
Yeah, and they're not sure exactly, when he's going to be back. So I mean, that's somebody. Even with Marv there, Michael Wilson.
He's been coming on lately.
Yeah, he's a solid wide receiver 3 flex as well.
But with Harrison gone, to me, I think Dortch,
him and Dortch, him and Dortch,
and Wilson,
and our guy McBride's going to eat too. Our guy McBride's going to eat now too. He was already eating.
Right, but once Harrison went out, now I think who's Kyler's favorite target now?
Oh,
it might be Trey
for
McBride.
Sure. It's absolutely. But wide receiver wise, I think it's Dortch or Wilson. But I still think Wilson has more upside than Dortch. I think Wilson, if you're going to go between the two.
I don't know about Dortch. He's better with the ball in his hands. He might have more because I actually he had like a 25-point game last year. Like Dortch can pop off a little bit.
He's got more boom, but I think Michael Wilson's more like
red zone.
If you're looking at consistency too.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
He's got a safer floor. He's gonna, guaranteed probably get 4 or 5 catches. And in the red zone, he's definitely more likely to score a touchdown. The only thing, Dortch, if he scores, he can score from 50.
Right, so exactly. Yeah, he's run after the catch a lot better than what Wilson will do. Yeah, Wilson's got the height.
He can boom, but he could also bust. Whereas Wilson
sure.
isn't really going to be a bust, especially if Harrison's out. So he's going to be another good one to add, definitely.
Yeah.
Tight ends, real quick. I'll fucking Njoku. Just looking at it, he's going to
be the number 1 target. He's like we talking about Trey McBride. So out of him and Judy, I think Njoku is like if you're waiver wire and you're going to pick up a tight end or wide receiver, like if you're kind of in between both of those, you go to Njoku. He's going to eat, dude. Even if it's a catch for 4 or 5 yards, 3 or 4 yards, he's going to get volume. Is the main thing with Njoku. He gets volume, bro.
Right.
With Cooper gone now,
there's not a lot of, if any, NFL teams anymore that have like their number one option is a tight end as a pass catcher. It was Kelsey for a while with the Chiefs. But even like, you look at the elite tight ends, not like actually it's Bowers now in Vegas. I'll tell you that right now. It's Bowers in Vegas.
Number one tight end.
He's
right
number
now,
one. Yeah. He's gonna be, and he's probably
he
gonna
had a
finish as tight
pancake
end
block
one too.
He had a pancake block, dude, last week too. Yeah,
But he's like, as far as like the number, like every team, like you look at the good tight ends, even Laporta, who was the top drafted tight end, he's not the top option. You got St. Brown and now JMO, then he's like maybe third option. You got the running game. Like he's, a part of the crew over there. There's not like a team where their go-to guy is their tight end. And right now it's freaking in Vegas, and potentially in Arizona, so.
I think McBride's going to step up. McBride could finish his wide receiver or tight end number 1 too as well.
Now it's going to be Njoku.
Yeah.
Njoku
is huge.
So Njoku to all of a sudden, go from seeing maybe 5 targets a game or whatever it was to potentially 10.
He was with Flacco. Yeah, he was with Flacco for sure.
He's gonna get some volume. So for me, he's a guy. In another league, dude, freaking Evan Ingram. People dropped
back.
him, and I don't know if anybody's seen him ball out in London, dude. But fucking, Trevor Lawrence likes him, so if he's available in any way,
he likes his tight end.
Sure.
Strange was killing it with him, and he's not as talented now that you got Evan Ingram actually back, and he's more talented. You have way more of a ceiling there. He was dropping 11, 12, 13 a game every game. Strange was. Now you got Evan Ingram, who's going to drop you close to 20 on his boom games, 25, like.
For sure. Well, that about covers the waivers. Let's get into the news of the day.
Fucking A, man.
The first one that happened was Devontae, right? Devontae Adams traded to the New York Jets. Back with Aaron Rodgers,
man. Yeah.
That shit
crazy,
was funny.
man.
He came on the McAfee thing. That shit
was funny. I shared that. I put that in the group chat, dude. I was watching it, and when he was going, he's like, "Hey, who you got over there?" And fucking Devontae
didn't take long, huh? Didn't take long. He's already over there, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. He fucking, as soon as he heard it, took a flight, dude. And he's like, "Hey, wait to get McAfee on the show." He's like, "I guarantee Rodgers probably stalled being on the show or whatever it was to make sure that he can get Tay in there." And that was pretty cool. The way they did that, and he popped on camera. I thought that was pretty awesome that happened. And fantasy wise, though,
I'm a Garrett Wilson owner. I'm a Garrett Wilson owner in my Yahoo league, and to me, for anyone that remembers Rodgers and Devontae over in Green Bay, dude, who was the number 2 guy? Does anybody ever remember a number 2 guy in Green Bay? Exactly. So to me, it's a little bit concerning because I know he loves that guy. And he's gonna trust that guy, And that being said, I don't know because Lazard technically was the number 2 guy. The last couple of games, Garrett Wilson's he got 22 targets 2 games ago and like 15 this last game. So like the targets have been there, and Lazard has actually been the number 2 guy, and he's actually been doing pretty solid. So I'm gonna, reserve a little optimism.
Temper expectations on Wilson. Yeah. The thing with me, what I think about that,
still going to be, I think
Garrett Wilson,
whole, right?
You could have some boost in it. You're going to have the good thing about it. Like there was games where you have a top corner, you know what I mean, covering Garrett Wilson all game. You're going to have a top corner.
He went through that. He had Surtain shattered him, And so he went through a hard part of the schedule already where he had some tough guys.
Yeah. So, honestly, I think Wilson's still in there. I think he's starting to fade a little bit from a wide receiver 1, maybe to a 2, but that doesn't even necessarily mean it's going to happen. Devontae, I've watched him with the Raiders. I know he's had bad quarterback play. He still is not as good as he used to be. You know what I mean? And Garrett Wilson is a young guy. He's still going to be good. I still think he's going to eat. I think Wilson's going to be fine. The Jets are going to just start passing the ball more.
Adams, because he's been in Vegas. I remember you had him last year, and I was like, just because the quarterback play, And then even this year, same thing. They didn't they didn't do anything about the quarterback in Vegas, and Minshew doesn't do it for me, But
And
honestly, Rodgers,
O'Connell, yeah.
dude, I think Rodgers does, man. I think
Yeah.
Tay is about to get a boost. I think he's about to be
Oh, for
all of a
sure.
sudden he's getting fantasy relevant. So like Jeff in our league, all
Yeah.
of a sudden about to have himself a player now.
And
All of
he's
a
got
sudden
Reed.
that
Yeah,
hamstring's about to be feeling good, and all of a sudden, watch Tay's about to
Oh,
come
yeah.
out and have it, and he's gonna play this week, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. They already said he's
I
playing
mean,
Sunday
he's
night
in
against the
town.
Steelers.
It's
Sunday night.
Tuesday. It's
They don't play
Tuesday.
till
He's in
Sunday
town.
night. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
He'll
he's
be
got
fine.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days of practice.
We'll be able to
So,
find
yeah.
out early how the Garrett Wilson thing's going to go. The only thing is, I feel like you might have to wait a couple weeks to kind of really see how it's going to go. I think Garrett Wilson first game. I still think he's
I
going
don't
to
know,
eat,
man.
but
They're 2-4. I think they got a new guy calling the plays. Who I don't know if he's actually calling the plays or if Rodgers is just
probably Rodgers. He's LeBron
Right.
in it.
Hey, you Tom Brady that shit, motherfucker, dude. Change it for him, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever it. Sometimes it works out. In both those situations. We mentioned two guys where it did. So it could work out. I don't know. Rodgers ain't those dudes, but
I think the Jets are going to take off, dude. As long as Rodgers stays healthy, dude. I mean, having Garrett Wilson and fucking Devontae Adams, dude, and Breece Hall is no bum. You know what I mean? Those
dude,
guys.
it's funny.
Their defense is solid.
It's funny because the two teams that just played for first place in the AFC East, the corresponding move is Amari Cooper over to Buffalo Bills, and to me, like I think maybe you think that they seen Tay going to Jets and like, oh shit, maybe now we need to do it, or maybe I wonder if they already had that in the back of their mind.
For
But
me, because
that's
I think they've been one to make a move at a receiver. But I think that happening. I think they probably, but they've kept it under wraps because Josh has played good. But they've lost.
Huh?
They've lost 2 games though. Where I think he had really low passing yards, right? I mean, where his passing. I mean, they've won games where he's had low passing yards.
Jets?
No, the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I think you got guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
they had
Shakir
the
was
3-touchdown game from Cook. And we even saw last night that their running game, even without Cook, was solid.
It's still
the running game,
for sure.
Since Joe Brady has been calling the plays, last season, that running game has gotten going.
Yeah, and that's huge though. I think Amari, he's got the most drops in the NFL wide receiver wise. He just after the whole Ayuk thing happened with Cleveland, I think the relationship was already kind of a little bit broken. Which if I'm Amari Cooper and I hear a team wants to trade me, I mean you kind of lose a lot of passion for that team. Not saying he wasn't out there playing his heart out, but it just from Cooper last year to Cooper this year, I just seen a major difference in the way he's playing. And honestly, as a Browns fan, I have nothing but respect for Cooper, dude. The 2 years he was there, he balled his ass off, dude. He fucking every quarterback that came in, no matter who the quarterback was, dude, he was out there. Injuries that probably should have kept him out. He was, dude, straight professional, man. And I loved having him and Chubb, dude, guys that just put their head down and play football. And for me, it's a tough loss for the Browns, but with the season, going the way it is, it's he's probably going to be gone next year.
As long, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's an OBJ without the drama, like he
way better. I mean, he played way better too. My God,
right. But it just as far as like he's only going to be there for a few years, whatever. Take what you can get, and we see how the
paid
season's
a fifth
going.
For him. We got a third for him. So I mean, we actually upgraded on what we got.
Honestly, kind of
like
if did right by him, if that for whatever that's worth, because he's going to a great situation, and like for me, like that's huge. Like they
I'm pulling for, man. I am.
To me,
for sure.
Like that was like an answer to the Devontae Adams because they played a close game, and if Mike Williams doesn't fall over himself again, I think the Jets have 3 losses by like 3 points. So
I think it'd be an intriguing move is him to go back to LA to the Chargers. I think that'd be a good move for them too.
Just cut him at this point and fucking.
They probably will.
Yeah, that you got Lazard, so they're all right. They got 3 receivers, Conklin. They got 2 backs that are banging. So like, I think Buffalo, if they had that in mind, I think that they seen that, and I think they definitely were like. Because
push the button on it,
especially going against those corners, you need guys that they just played them, and he was struggling to have guys that can get open. He had to buy time, run around, and find a running back that got loose downfield, for a 50-yard completion. But it's not these receivers because the Jet secondary is good and they're going to be good. So you need some guys that can win against some guys. And Cooper, like we said, he's a professional, man. Like I think Josh Allen's really gonna like him too because he's not a diva, man. Like a lot of receivers bring diva to the game, and like he had Diggs, obviously, and like this is like a total opposite. Like this guy,
complete opposite.
He's just gonna go about it. Like if you don't get the ball, he ain't gonna come yell at you. He's not gonna throw a fit. You know, like he's gonna go about his business, and I promise
he's gonna
you,
eat, bro. He's gonna eat, bro. Yeah, he's
like,
gonna eat.
He wasn't dropping the ball on purpose. Like he might not have been happy, and maybe that might have led to it. But he ain't that type of dude. Like he's a pro.
Football's mental, bro, too, and football's mental too. I mean, if you're not in the right mind state too, you might not perform as well too. So for me, when you're a fan, dude, you think of the worst things and when you're pissed off and
like I've seen like some of the I seen like a clip, dude, and it was of some of these receivers that like they turn on these routes and they're open and they're ready for the ball, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, that shit went fucking. Like, and then they start like, they're just like kind of like, damn, but then all of a sudden they turn and it's right there and they're not used to it. Maybe they're not expecting it, because they've seen too many balls going over their head or whatever, but it's just no rhythm, no timing. There's a lot that goes into it, but, like if he can get on the same page with Josh Allen in the AFC, man, like it's tough because the Jets have a better defense, than the Bills do, if you ask me. Josh Allen's the better player. He's the best player, arguably him and Mahomes in the AFC. But that puts them in the mix because I didn't think they were really serious
in
contenders,
the market for
without
right.
Well, even if they were in the market, I just didn't think, if Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman are your guys,
top guys, right?
Eventually, you run into Cincinnati even in the playoffs or the Ravens in the playoffs who have a Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers who's fucking coming on like crazy, there are teams that you're just not going to be able to compete with. So they had to go for it, and in respect to the Bills for doing it, I think he's going to be a huge pickup for that team. So they're right back in the mix as far as contenders in the AFC.
I remember, I don't know, I was having a conversation with somebody. I think I had like a trade offer or something like that for, I think it was like Shakir and like Zay Flowers part of the package. And somebody's like, you must really like those AFC North teams. Like Shakir kind of made him seem like Shakir and Flowers are comparable. And I'm like, that's just crazy. Being favorite targets and stuff.
They are slightly similar, but one's just got a lot more boost, like
speed and yeah. He's got more talent, dude. I do. Zay Flowers is dude. He's good, and I've had him I think twice in 2 leagues. Well, I have him in 2 leagues too, and that motherfucker ain't going nowhere, dude. Like, I honestly I thought about using keeper on him, but I used on London. I actually end up still getting him in the league that I fucking remember the league that was one I was asking you and Danny about, and you guys said go London. I'm glad that I listened to you guys on London, and then Zay Flowers came around. I'm like, dude, I literally drafted. I think
it was Addison that had him last year in 951. Like,
and I got him at the end of the season. Yeah.
He dropped him, right? And then
we traded. We traded. I gave him Stafford for Flowers.
And he needed a quarterback at the time, so it was a win-win at the time. But
it wasn't doing nothing for either one of us. Yeah.
Zay started fucking going in. I was like, God damn.
Dude, had like 140 yards and 11 catch, something crazy, dude. He fucking went in, dude.
He finished hot, and now he's fucking picking up off that, dude. So,
one thing I was going to talk about too with Amari Cooper, and Tay too,
I think his value goes up. For fantasy value, I think him and Tay, both those guys, they went from mediocre quarterback play to Hall of Fame quarterback play. So,
dude, 1,000%.
If you got Amari Cooper. Or if you got Devontae Adams, it's a good day. It's definitely a good day
for sure. Guys. And one thing too, I think with Buffalo too, a lot of people like whenever a receiver goes somewhere, they're like, you got guys there that you're like, oh, he's gonna lose targets now. A lot of times, these receivers, these top receivers, when they go to other teams, dude, you got guys that actually open up and have space now. Like Kincaid, to me, I think his value goes right back up again, where he's been kind of inconsistent. Kincaid has been. Look what he did with Diggs there, dude. You got some attention going off.
They haven't had anyone to stretch the field.
Exactly. So now you got somebody to stretch the field. Kincaid now, to me, I think his value goes up too. I think Kincaid's value goes up if you got Kincaid. You know what I mean? So Certain guys I think will end up, faring better. That you might think, oh, he's going to take all these targets. Conklin may be a better tight end now with both of those guys there now.
Honestly, they
so.
have a much more balanced and complete offense because
Right.
you can put two guys out wide. Keon Coleman's one guy like as a B, and then you got Cooper as a true 1A that you can
For
put
sure.
out wide. And your two inside guys, you can go Shakir and Kincaid, man. And then you got James Cook in the backfield. Their offense is going to be right there with the best of them.
And now you got a backup running back
is
is Ray Davis too that you could sub in. That's also explosive. Man, dude, they just came out of nowhere. The Bills, we were like, man, they're a little depleted. We knew that they were still going to be solid, but now all of a sudden,
that
they're
team
just
that offensively anyway. I can't trust
their run
defense,
game is awful.
To be honest.
Their run game is awful. Worse in the league.
Yeah, rush defense. Yeah,
So
I can't trust. You can't stop the run, and honestly, you can't stop their pass. Their secondary, ain't cutting it either. So their defense, they're gonna have to score a lot of points. And
their defense is really good 2 years ago. Other than that, I mean, last year they started to slack a little bit
compared to a team like the Chiefs who win games off of their defense.
Yeah.
So they're
I mean, it's crazy they haven't made a move. I'm wondering. I mean, it's to me, Deontay Johnson still makes a lot of sense for the Chiefs.
Much.
I mean, with those two moves happening, I think it's any moment where the Chiefs got to make a trade.
He's such a good route runner. He can play the middle. He's got yards after the catch. He fits what they like to do. Also, his style, it just makes too much sense.
Dude, it's crazy too because I feel like Reek is really been Cheetah's been really hinting at almost seeing all these trades and almost wanting to go back and wanting to go back.
Him, damn well he wants to go back.
Oh God, dude! If the Dolphins, man, I mean, if they could get picks in certain, and depending on what happens with Tua,
they wouldn't. There's no way.
What if Tua made? For me, but say something happened to Tua, dude, and to the point where maybe they decide, hey, his career's done. Why would you not try to trade up to get those picks to try to get a quarterback to replace him? And you build around Waddle and whatever new quarterback.
Because he's got a ring and he.
Yeah.
To me, he went there. I know he hyped Tua up, but he went to Miami because it was Miami and because they paid him the top dollar at the time. He was the highest paid receiver in history, So I think that's the main reason, he went over there, So, but speaking of some news, let's get the last news that we had. I think of the day really was fucking. Are the Steelers really going to start Justin
Russell
Fields.
Wilson over Fields.
Russell Wilson over Justin Fields. They're gonna bench Justin Fields. That's crazy to me. 4-2 is that's my Bucks are 4-2, and we're not contemplating no quarterback change.
They haven't played anybody really good, but I still think he gives them the best chance to win. Yeah, I still think Fields gives them the best chance to win
football games. I think Fields might because if the way that team's built, they want to run the ball, they want to play defense.
Their line's not good. Their offensive line's not good. You're not gonna see Russ scramble and get these touchdowns. He's had he's already got 5 rushing touchdowns or something like that. I think he's got 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns already in the season. You're not gonna see that from Russ. Maybe 3, I don't know. But either way, there's there's plays where nobody's open. All they have is Pickens out there. Austin's all right. He's an okay option out there for them. But I mean, you'll see plays where they're not open at all. And who do you got back there? You got Fields. So, I mean, Fields will run for it. Wilson's not going to run like that for them. They'll eventually have to go back to Fields, I think. But they're going to give Russ a try because that was their – the Steelers, bro. When they say something, they stick to it. They're like, oh, he's our guy. I mean, look at how long they stayed with Pickett. I mean, he was awful, dude, and they kept staying with – I mean, I can't say I'm a Browns fan.
They invested, I think, a first-round pick, if I'm not right. They invested, when you invest a lot into something, but right now they didn't invest – they invested basically the same into each of these quarterbacks, which is not a lot. I think Russell Wilson getting paid $5 million and
$3 million,
whatever he is.
Yeah,
they're there's
not. But Tomlin's that coach where if he says something and he's like, "Hey, we're bringing this guy,"
unless they they must see something, unless they see and we talked about it. Pickens' value is about to go up. I would think with Russell Wilson and the passing offense, might go up, but I don't know. I mean, Fields has been turning the ball over. What's going to happen? If at least they score more points, potentially they, the offense, if the passing game gets moving a little bit better, because obviously he can't run like Justin Fields can. And I think Fields just had 2 more rushing touchdowns this week. So from a fantasy, standpoint, Fields was solid, dude. I have him in my 2 QB league, and it sucks to see him, go away. I just started him, and he did solid. He had like 23 something fucking points, bro. Like he's been
played that
balling.
league really well in regards to. I mean, you sat Josh Allen. I mean, you able to sit Josh Allen and play Fields whenever on matchups you played Love and him. I mean, that's smart. Honestly, because the way he's been playing. But yeah, a lot of people have Fields and they're not worried about a quarterback. Now all of a sudden, you're worried about a fucking quarterback. Another thing we didn't go over too. I mean, he's on a lot of waivers still. I'm using my number one waiver on him in my league, even though he's on a bye week, is Caleb Williams. I mean, that's the only position in the league that I'm not. My team's solid, but it's missing a quarterback. And Caleb Williams, I'm picking him up. His schedule coming up. Oh, it's beautiful. It's great. So, I mean, the Bears schedule there, dude, that schedule, and Caleb's finally stepping up, dude. I'm picking up Caleb Williams.
Dropped him.
I mean, a lot of people probably dropped. And then, in our league, I think was it John that dropped him? I dropped him way early in the season, though. I dropped him, I think, second week or something.
You drafted
like that.
him, though.
I did. Him. Yeah, for sure. And I think for me, like, our bench is so little for me to have like a backup quarterback. That's something like for me, like I'll pick up somebody when it happens. I think Lamar's bye week, I think, is 13 or 14, something late, dude, like really late. Right. So, for me, it wasn't something that I like needed to have, even though it's it'd be cool to keep him away from somebody else or have trade bait. I couldn't keep him on my roster the first couple weeks after seeing that. I'm like, he might take off, but it wouldn't be till middle of the season. He's taken off way earlier than that. So.
Yeah, he looked really good in London.
Last 2 weeks. Yeah, last 2 weeks, man. He had about 32 points or something like that fantasy-wise this last week. Past for that.
Getting Allen back, I think,
yeah.
I know that I think it probably just opens things up.
Their defense looks solid, too. So they're getting turnovers to get them the ball back.
And the Dunze, might be coming down a little bit. They were doing well for a little while, but, Keenan Allen definitely got his turn. But I think it's going to be
got hurt, and they still played well. So,
yeah,
I mean,
but the ball's gonna get like even Cole Kmet's been balling for them.
So,
yeah. So they're gonna he's got good weapons, man. They got a good team.
Yeah. So, and now it's finally coming to fruition. What we said in the beginning of the season.
He's athletic too. Like he buys sometimes. You could tell like he runs.
Those rollouts.
He can move.
Those rollouts work really well for the Bears.
He's got a good feel for the pocket. Some guys like Josh Allen, he tends to roll out right, he's gonna go out right. Like he wants to do that, like Caleb, it don't matter which way he's going, like, and he can feel it pretty good, and he has he's looking sharp, dude. He's
staying there to throw it, even with the heat coming in, and
dude, like between Kirk
does that shit a lot.
Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Drake May looks pretty good. Man, there's some rookies, some rookies over here looking pretty solid.
Year before we needed a quarterback, dude. I'm not liking the quarterback class next year, but who knows? I didn't think it was too crazy about this one either. Though, but,
and then
I'm not crazy about him.
Quinn Ewers,
maybe Ewers. I'm not too crazy on Sanders. I think he's gonna be a bust. I don't like. I don't know.
Their attitudes, man, over there. Even Colorado.
I like Ewers or wait a little bit longer and get Manning. Cool with that. You know what I mean?
Archie, now we're talking.
Man, that motherfucker. Tank for Manning, dog. Tank for Manning,
he's got
dog.
The bloodline, dude.
That motherfucker. And he's fast as
he's an
fuck
athlete
too, bro.
Yeah,
his mom and dad were track stars, dude. My buddy actually my buddy Tyler went to Texas for the game. He's a diehard Texas fan, which me and him went a little back and forth because we're Trojans fans, so fuck Texas. But he went out there. He was actually rooting for us against a couple times this year against like Michigan, and it's been some years, so whatever. But he actually went to the Texas game, dude, and it was crazy. And the college atmosphere for those games, dude. I mean, NFL is awesome, dude, and the atmosphere is great for the NFL, but it's nothing like college games, dude. When you go to college games, the atmosphere in college games is fucking insane in the stands. Like sending me the snaps and seeing the stadium, dude. It's wild. The college atmosphere. I'd love to go to like a Trojans game one time in my life eventually. Hopefully go down to when they play Ohio State or something. That'd be dope. Be the only SC fan in there.
Yeah, fuck it.
I've been the only SC fan in a bar, bro. When we played Ohio State.
That's what's tough, bro. That's what's tough about going to these freaking events and stuff like that nowadays, dude. Is how people be acting.
And being an opposite fan, fan of the opposite team, right?
You win some, you lose some, man. You win some, you lose some.
No need to fight over the game. To me, I've never been on that type of shit. To me, talking shit and fun talking shit, that there's a difference between that and actually trying to fucking fight a fan. Do you see the Commanders fan or the Ravens fan knocking out this Commanders fan?
No.
Walking down the street, dude, after the Ravens beat and they beat the Commanders, dude. And he's like, "Oh, I see some stragglers, dude." Comes up and just knocks out one fan. Boom. Knocks out another. I'm like, bro, for what? And they're not even trying to fight him, dude. Like, they're literally just down the street walking. Their team already lost, bro. And you fucking knock this dude. Dude, it's bro.
Oh my god, that's
it's crazy.
lame.
They found who he is. They reported him to his job. He's about to lose his job. Like, all over because you wanted to be a dumbass, bro. Like, what is wrong with you? And your team won. Like, what
bro,
the fuck,
and just enjoy
dude?
it.
Yeah,
just enjoy it.
There's good shit talk and there's being a dumbass, dude. And you're a fucking grown ass adult, dude. And I think he had a really good
like
job.
I was watching
I was
watching I think it was the Padres and the Dodgers, dude. And there's this one where like the Padre fan, like it was just a home run, and like he looks over and there's a Dodger fan. He taps him on the shoulder. He looks at him and then he just flips him off. As soon as he taps him on the shoulder, he looks at him, and the Dodger fan or whatever just like kind of like looks up and like laughs about it, dude. It's like,
yeah.
What can you do? You know, like
that's
bro,
good and fun. That's how it should be, bro. That's
exactly how it should be at games, bro. But no, you can't do that. People are fucking like, if that happens, they'll just start pushing them. That's right, fuck. They got
to be tough.
Take it too far, bro.
Craziest thing I think I've ever seen. I went to a Browns and Bears game. Back in, I would say this is probably like 9 or 10. I think it was 2009 or 10. Jay Cutler was a quarterback for the Bears. That's how long ago it was. And I remember there were some Bears fans in the dog pound, and we were talking shit back and forth to him or whatever, and we started throwing snowballs back and forth. But that's as far as it got. You know what I mean? And like that could turn into something, but like that's good and fun type of shit. You know what I mean? The Bears fan was throwing them back at the Browns fans. We're throwing it back at the Bears fans. Stadium was like getting filled up with fucking snow. But like, just be a responsible fucking adult, dude. I've gotten wasted and gotten into, talking shit back and forth, but not to the point where you need to fight somebody at the fucking stadium, bro. It's never that serious, dude. You know what I mean? You go home, you lost. It is what it is. You don't end up in the fucking drunk tank for being an idiot,
lose
dude.
Some,
yeah.
But you live.
To fight another day. I love it, dude. I love it.
Yes, sir. That's right. All right, man. Well, fuck, it's getting late. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, man. We'll get into week 7, the halfway point. Stick with it. You guys get those dubs all season long. As always, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and always, we'll catch you on the next one.
Absolutely, boys. And make sure to follow us on Instagram as well. Just started up that page not too long ago. We'll get that one up and running a little bit more and get some clips and reels going for you guys. Same with the Facebook as well, guys. Take care. See you on the next one.